Whoo, what is going on? Welcome back to another edition of the Road Pod. And we're here today to talk about the Baltimore Ravens defeating the Denver Broncos 41-10 in a game that a lot of you guys pretty much knew that we were going to win. I knew we were going to win, even though the Denver Broncos have a very, very stout defense. Offensively, they struggle a bit, but hey, who cares? The Baltimore Ravens are now 6-3, a half game behind the idle 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. So for me, we're going to get into this game. We're going to talk about some things. I knew this was going to be a special season. I just did not know how special this season was going to be. What's up, Brian? How you feel? Listen, since ain't nobody in here, I don't expect anybody to be here. We going to get in. We going to get out. What's going on, Jesus? Yes, the defense is very frustrating. But listen, this is the reason why we said that the Baltimore Ravens needed to upgrade their offense so that they could score points, outscore their opponents, and not have to even worry about the defense. And for some reason, with all that we've allocated to this defense, they still not performing up to par. But we don't need it because we have the secret sauce. We have the secret weapon in Lamar Jackson. And all throughout his career, all we've heard is Lamar Jackson isn't a quarterback. He's a running back playing quarterback. But guess what? This is the season that he put it all together. Second season in Todd Monken's system, and he is out here doing miraculous things. What's going on? Appreciate y'all for showing up. I just thought I was going to be in here by myself. Yeah, Henry, listen, Henry's out here doing his thing. Lamar's out here doing his thing. And guess what? Went and checked the statistics right before the stream. And guess what quarterback leads the NFL in passing yards? Is it Joe Burrow? Is it the Buffalo Bills' favorite son, Josh Allen? Is it Sam Darnold? No, it is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is leading the league with 2,379 yards with 20 passing touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. Josh Allen, back-to-back weeks, throwing an interception. So now Buffalo Bills fans can't talk about, oh, Josh Allen ain't turning the ball over. Well, he is now. That's right. Lamar is the secret sauce. He is. And a lot of people want to attribute that to Derrick Henry being here. And like I said before in previous videos, he is making things a lot simpler. He's taken away the courage from Lamar. Today, Lamar had about 3 rushes for about 4 yards, along 11. So when he doesn't have to get banged up week in and week out, he can concentrate on being a quarterback. And when he's concentrating on being a quarterback, guess what he does? He's leading the league in passing yards. I cannot stress this enough. For everything that our quarterback has gone through, for all the criticism, for all the naysayers, for everybody doubting what he could be, Lamar Jackson is out here doing his thing. And most definitely, listen, Derrick Henry is an MVP candidate. He had 23 rushes today for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns on the season in only 9 games. Derrick Henry has 1,052 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns. Excuse me. So, yes, I think that he is an MVP candidate. But if you truly look at what's going on, Lamar Jackson is the straw that stirs this drink. I mean, you look at the first half of most games. First half of most games, Lamar Jackson is carrying it with the passing game. Like, his efficiency is out of control. Today, he was 16 and 19, 280 yards with 3 touchdowns. Like, you can't get more efficient than that. Another perfect passer rating. And for some, they say he broke the record, but I think that he tied the record with Ben Roethlisberger for the most perfect passer rating games in NFL history. Now, I don't know too many running backs that can go out here and throw for perfect games 4 times when you have Hall of Famers, you have legendary quarterbacks that go out here and they just don't seem to get it done. So for him to be tied with the most, and he is only in his 7th season. It took Ben Roethlisberger 18 years, and he did it 4 times. Lamar is in the midst of year 7, and he is not done. He is just hitting his peak, so I guarantee you he is going to break that record. And you said Henry needs help with running backs to keep him fresh late in the season and games. Yes, and I think that's why, they're doing everything that they're doing to get Keaton Mitchell up to speed. They just didn't feel like he possibly was ready for this game. My thing is, don't rush him back, because we're going to need the running game when the weather gets cold, when it starts to get windy, when it starts to get snowy outside. they may need to run the ball a little bit more, but don't overutilize Derrick Henry and what he can do for this team, because everything that he's doing is historic as it is. We need him for the postseason. I don't need him to rush for 2,000 yards. I don't need Derrick Henry to be MVP. I just need Derrick Henry to help take this team to a Super Bowl. That is the last check mark in Lamar Jackson's book. That's the only thing in this league that he has not accomplished, being that Super Bowl win. So he's doing his thing, but I'm not too worried about who gets the MVP. Even if Lamar doesn't get it, I ain't mad, because the way that Lamar's playing now, he's going to get that ultimate prize, that Super Bowl MVP trophy. Forget regular season. I want to see a Super Bowl MVP trophy. Let's see. Ravenville said Mitchell should be ready in the next 2 weeks or so. He should, but once again, let's not rush the man back. I don't want to see him come in before he needs to, because there's no need right now. The running game is going. You supplement in Justice Hill for a few carries here and there to take the weight off of Derrick Henry. In the beginning of the season, a lot of people complained that Derrick Henry wasn't in the game enough. For me, he's in the game just fine. Listen, the Ravens are 6-3. We could be 8-1. We could be 9-0, but I think his utilization is just fine. What's going on? Make sure y'all check out the Flex Zone. All right. Listen, one day he shall fulfill the prophecy, Jay, and it is going to be in this 2024 season. I'm guaranteeing it. Like, I'm so excited for the things that Lamar Jackson is doing out here in these NFL streets. Like, he is just crazy efficient. If you look at it, Lamar Jackson's not passing for 30 attempts a game. He's passing for around 20, 24 attempts, and he's completing 17 to 20 of them. Like, this crazy efficiency. So we don't need Lamar to go do more than what he needs to do. And he's out here balling. He's hitting guys outside the numbers. He's passing the ball down the field. All of the things that they said he could not do. And he did it in this game. And listen, the Denver Broncos, their defense, it's not a bunch of pushovers. Early on, the Baltimore Ravens offensive line had a little bit of trouble stopping them. But I think that Todd Monken adjusted the game plan and called a better game, especially a better game than he called last week. The Ravens adjusted, and Lamar was out there doing his thing. What's going on? Hey, little joker. Yeah, Davon. Listen, I've been having people pressure me about doing certain things. I don't know why. This is 3 lives in one day. I don't know when the next time you're going to see me, but listen, we're going to enjoy it for what it is. The Baltimore Ravens got this win. They did everything that they needed to do. And for me, I got what I wanted. I wanted the Ravens to kind of blow them out so they could take Lamar Jackson out early in the game, because the Baltimore Ravens do have a game on Thursday night versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Cincinnati Bengals, who a lot of us thought were left for dead, they are making their run. They start seasons off slow, and then they come on a little bit later. But listen, this is a game that is going to put a lot of stress on the secondary. And the secondary did look a little bit better, but I don't know how much of that had to do with a rookie quarterback, a team with really one weapon. They did rush for 100 yards. Cortland Sutton had 127 yards receiving. So now you bring in the Cincinnati Bengals that have 3 wide receivers and a tight end that got busy today because Joe Burrow was out there doing his thing. You say go get Jalen Ramsey. Listen, Jalen Ramsey, his contract is a little bit too expensive for the Baltimore Ravens blood. As much as they would love to bring Jalen Ramsey in, I just think with the contract situation he has going on right now, the Ravens can't afford it. They can't afford Max Crosby. As much as I would like it, they can't afford Myles Garrett. So with the trade deadline coming up, I don't know what the Ravens are going to do, but I don't think that one player is going to be enough for the Ravens to kind of transform their defense. For me, it is going to have to do with coaching. They're going to have to do something about this coaching, implement some things, bring in some guys to kind of coach Zach Orr up. But I don't know if the one dude's going to come in. Trayvon Walker, I don't know. What's up, Pay the Bills? Who do you guys think that can come in and actually make a change, make a sort of difference in this defense? Because, listen, they did hold the Denver Broncos to under 350 total yards. They have 4 fourth down stops, which counts for 4 turnovers. They had 4 sacks. Shout out to Tavius Robinson, who's out there balling out of control. Unlike Odafe Owe. So we got the 5th round pick coming in, 2 sacks in a game. We had Trenton Simpson come in and get a sack in the game. Even Malik Harrison came in and got a sack. Where was Owe? I don't think he was anywhere to be found. Where was David Ajabo? Where's this 2nd round pick that had 1st round talent that came in and was supposed to transform this defense? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere. What's going on, MBT? Appreciate you being here. Gary McCoy, what's up? Appreciate that as well. Micah Parsons, listen, Micah Parsons is about to get paid, and Micah Parsons is hurt right now. So even if the Ravens were to trade for him, he's not playing. He hasn't played in like the last 3 games. So I don't think that he could come in and actually do anything being hurt right now and then adjust into a new defensive scheme. He can rush the passer, but he's a little bit limited when it comes to stopping a run. And right now, with bringing back Dean Pease, the Baltimore Ravens are having a little bit of issue with stopping the run. Fortunately for us, the Denver Broncos did not have a real strong run game. So for me, Micah Parsons, I'm a pass on that. Max Crosby, he would be a hit. Like Max Crosby would somewhat transform this defense. He would give us that interior pressure. He give us that outside pressure that we are missing. But once again, he is on a $92 million contract and the Baltimore Ravens can't afford it. And like y'all told me, this ain't Madden. So if we can't be Madden-like when it comes to offense, how can we be Madden-like when it comes to defense? I mean, theoretically, yes. They can afford any player that they want to get, but the Ravens, in their cheap nature, they're not giving up the draft picks, and they're not going to pay for players going forward, even if they are on the defensive side. I think they may be a little bit gun shy with everything that's happening with Marcus Williams, giving him that big contract and seeing how he's playing. Now, Jeffrey Simmons, I'll take Jeffrey Simmons. I don't know if Tennessee is doing a wholesale fire sale and they're starting over, but Jeffrey Simmons, I think he would do well. I don't know if the Ravens really would get along with him because he did spit in Marshall Yonder's face. And we didn't forget that. At least I didn't forget that. So bringing him in would definitely help the defense, but you also have to look at cohesiveness. You have to look at him being a part of this team and getting along with the players around him. Now we'll take Jadeveon Clowney for a 4th. I would give up Jadeveon for a 4th, but after this year, he only has 1 year left on his contract, and Eric DeCosta is not one to give up draft picks so easily. He did for Yannick Ngakoue. That bit him in the rear. He may be a little bit skeptical on doing that again. And yes, Tavius, the Canadian kid, was out there balling. I was wrong about Tavius. I was wrong. Like, Tavius is a player. He's a baller. He's doing everything that he can. And listen, Kyle Van Noy Davon, he's 34 years old. 34. He can be a great complimentary piece, but you can't expect Kyle Van Noy to come in and be our Myles Garrett. You can't expect him to come in and be our leading sacker. This is what drafting a 1st round pick and Odafe Owe was supposed to be for, but he has disappeared. And I'm not understanding, y'all. I need somebody to tell me. I keep seeing Calais Campbell name being thrown about. Calais Campbell has not been good for about 3 years. What do you guys think that Calais Campbell is going to come in here and do? Honestly, his sack production has gone down each and every season. He's not a rusher. You can kind of find anybody to come in and be a run stopper, but I don't know. Tell me what is the fascination with bringing back Calais Campbell? I understand he's a good locker room guy. I understand he's 6'8". He can probably block a couple passes, maybe a field goal, but I don't think he's going to transform this defense into anything. And I can't leave Owe out of this because Owe leaves himself out of the defense. These are players that we've paid. These are players that we've drafted extremely high, and they are underperforming. So this is why we told y'all year in and year out, stop going defense, defund the defense, because it's not worth it. It's going to come back and bite us in the butt. And right now, defensively, we're looking like trash. And we had an extremely good game versus the Denver Broncos. But the Denver Broncos, even at, what are they, 5-4 now? This team is not going to be the type of team that we're going to see in the playoffs. So, I don't know. Chase Young and Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore has a big contract as well. Chase Young has not lived up to his top 2 billing. Like, he's not the player that he was at Ohio State. Now, injuries may have played an extremely high factor into this, but I don't think Chase Young is going to be the guy that we need to come in and help this Ravens pass rush. Listen, what's he on his 4th team, 3rd team? Like, he was only drafted, 4 years ago? Like, You called him an Ajal. Yes, Ajal was inactive. Azeez Ojulari, I'll take him. And what is this fascination with Calais? I don't get it. Like, y'all tell me, what do y'all think Calais Campbell can actually do coming into this organization? Like, he is an older player. He's not an every down player. And I understand we need rotational pieces, but I don't think he can play enough to have an effective effect on this defense. What's going on, Kogan? He says, I feel like Clown is our most likely option, which I gladly take over who we have. I'll take him too. They should have never let him leave. They should have just given him the money that he needed, passed, unfortunately, on Nnamdi Madubuike, and signed 2 to 3 impact players. But instead, once again, they had the Brandon Williams effect where they were like, oh, we need this guy. He's going to come in here and replicate what he's done in the past, and he just haven't done it. Like, I don't see the fascination with him and why they thought that he was going to come back and get 11, 13 sacks. And, publications try to pump him up and say, oh, man, look at the pressure he's putting up front. I don't see it. Like, I don't see it. Once again, I think it's money wasted. We wasted $100 million on a defensive tackle. We wasted $100 million on a linebacker. We wasted $70 million on a safety. The only one that is still playing kind of up to par is Marlon Humphrey. So, what's going on, Antonio? He has no ankle flexion. Mr. Whips has a lot of issues. Hassan Reddick. Now, if that were the case, I think that the Ravens would have traded for Hassan Reddick when he was going through his situation with the New York Jets. But to me, I don't think that they'll do it because Hassan wants a new contract. And I don't think that he's going to be too happy about leaving a situation, going into a new situation when he hasn't even really played and still not getting the contract that he wants. He's from up in Pennsylvania. He would be maybe closer to home. I'm not sure, but I don't know how much he has in him right now because he's not in football shape. He's been sitting on the sidelines for 8 weeks. And he's just hit the practice squad. He's doing some things. I don't think that he's physically ready for the NFL season. So I don't know about bringing him in right now because we're about to hit a stretch of games where we play Cincinnati, we play Pittsburgh, and these are 2 very pivotal games. We are already 3 games down behind the Kansas City Chiefs, and we don't really have time to wait for certain people to come in and get acclimated to the system, come in and find their place in this defense. Shout out to Cole Ray Leo. Great show, bro. Keep going. Oh, wait, neck. Appreciate you. Listen, it ain't hard. Like, your man ain't showing me nothing. Your man ain't, he's doing nothing in these games. Now, he did have 2.5 sacks one game. He got the 1 sack a couple weeks ago. But for a first-round pick for a guy that they picked up their 5th-year option, he's not showing me much. For all that, you could have gave the 5th-year option to Patrick Queen. I'm just saying. All right, what we got? Oh, it's 18 minutes already. Woo, it's flying. What's going on, Raven C? Appreciate you, brother. Just chilling. Listen, I'm basking in the glow of the Ravens win. I'm basking in the glow of Lamar Jackson leading the NFL in passing. Who'd have thought in 2018 that we would have thought that there would have come a time in any season that Lamar Jackson would have the most passing yards, and not because of Lamar Jackson's talent. It's because of what the team has put around him. Like, listen, him and Zay have a connection, and I might have to admit that Zay Flowers may be the best drafted wide receiver the Ravens have ever had. I'm very partial to Hollywood Brown. I liked Hollywood Brown. He may not have been the best or the biggest. Hollywood Brown was my guy, but Zay Flowers is showing me a little something. Listen, Zay Flowers, and this is another stat that I found really amazing. Zay Flowers is 4th in the NFL in receiving yards. I understand it's week 9. I understand we still have half a season to go, but who would have thought that a Ravens wide receiver in this system with John Harbaugh as the coach would be in the top 5 in receiving yards? And Zay out there doing his thing. So listen, OA is a rotational, situational pass rusher. He can be Dante Fowler with the right dominant defensive end. Trade for Crosby. Bruh, we can't. The Ravens, listen, the Raiders said that they're not trading Max Crosby. We will see. We have 2 days, less than 2 days. Tuesday, 4 p.m., trade deadline. We'll see what the Ravens do, but sometimes when the Ravens get wins like this and the defense looks a little bit better, they're not going to look at the opponent. They're going to look at the outcome and say, you know what, maybe we're fine. Maybe we don't need anybody. So Max Crosby, that's a wish. If we get Max Crosby, that's everything we need. That's taking this over the top. Like this, the Ravens are automatically going to the Super Bowl if they get Max Crosby because his energy, his passion, just the things that he does on the field, they can move him and put him in any position, and he can rush the passer. And I think it's infectious, and he can actually help the Ravens out. So I'd love it. Shout out to my man Brodney. Enough about Lamar about that Bryce Young love. All right. Bryce Young did his thing. I texted Brodney early. I'm like, look, Bryce Young is out here balling out of control, albeit it was the New Orleans Saints. But listen, for a guy that was first overall pick, left for dead, sat on the bench, forgotten about, he came in today and he brought his team to a win. So listen, this is a rarity for us because as a family, we are a Panthers Ravens community. And the Panthers went out, did their thing. Bryce Young, hopefully this is more to come. If not, the Panthers are going to get top 5 pick and draft Shedeur Sanders. You heard it here first. Panthers new starting quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. And I'm with you, pay the bills. No more financial support for the defense. How much money are we going to pour into this defense before we realize it may be something a little bit more than just the players? Now, I will take that. It seems like that the Jaguars are sellers, and I would buy. Josh Allen is a menace. And I forget what is Josh Allen's Hines that he changed his name to distinguish himself from the other Josh Allen? I'll take Josh Allen all day. But who do we sit down? Do we sit down on Odafe? Do we make Odafe that rotational play that you said? Yeah. All right, let's see what we got. There's a lot of comments here. Maybe we need a defensive back because Stevens is out there being sticky, but yet still he ain't stopping nobody. And where the hell is Arthur Marlette? Y'all told me once Arthur Marlette came back, it was going to solve all our problems because he's a dog. He's a beast. All I see is Arthur Marlette trailing and chasing guys down the field. Luckily, we played a rookie quarterback who has accuracy problems. And I get it. Bo Nix is 29 years old, but still he's a rookie when it comes to NFL standards. All right. 22 minutes. Time is flying. Pay the bills. It's unbelievable the big names people want to trade for to fix this defense, but trading for Odell and D-Hop was too much. Listen, trading for Brandon Ayuk was too much. Trading for Amari Cooper was too much. Like all of these big name wide receivers, everybody said we didn't need them because we have guys on the roster. A few years ago when Rashad Bateman was the leader of this wide receiving core, it was let the young guys cook and let them learn on the job. Well, why can't we let this defense learn on the job? They've been together. They were the number 1 defense last season. Why can't we just have them work it out? Why do we always have to keep pouring money into this defense? Why will we not pour money into this offensive line? Offensive line looked terrible to me today. I haven't looked at the all 22 film, but to me, from the glimpse that I got, the offensive line was just letting up plays. Pat McCarry, he's not a starter. He is our quote unquote diamond in the rough, Mr. Do-It-All for a reason, because he has issues against starting defenders. Rosengarten, he played a little bit better after giving up that first sack, but Lele still a problem. I mean, let's start going on offense. Let's give Lamar everything he needs. Let's finally push all the chips to the front of the table, to the middle of the table, and say, you know what? We're going to give Lamar whatever he asks for. And if we don't win a Super Bowl, guess what? Next year, we'll go back to defense. Oh, yes. Yes. Pay the bills. I forgot. In the Discord, you told us that Derek Carr was him. You said Derek Carr was the man amongst men. And we didn't see it. That 4th down play, stupid. You needed 4 yards for a first down. You had enough time on the clock to go down, and you want to go for the chunk yardage? Like, come on, bro. You don't even have your top 5 receivers in there. But, hey. Yeah. Jettis is out here cooking. And apparently he just scored a touchdown. But to me, the crazy part is people used to say, hey, you know, we can't ever get a Justin Jefferson type wide receiver because we draft too low. Justin Jefferson was taking 22. 22, we just can't evaluate offensive talent. Sorry. MDC says, but Hendo most likely get Buda Baker, Honey Badger, and might trade for Brandon Sheriff. I'll take that. Listen, if you go offense and defense, I'll take those. We need to make sure that we protect our most greatest asset on this football team, which is Lamar Jackson. We need to protect him at all costs. Then we can worry about the defense, as we've shown throughout this season. We don't need a defense that can go out here and just shut teams down. We need a defense that can situationally make plays, like in the beginning of the game. Darius Washington, my man, like I told y'all, he finally caught that interception. And if we can continue to have plays like that where we stop teams here and there, the offense can take over, and then those teams will become one-dimensional, and we can try to unleash that pass rush and stop the pass. So we don't need to keep investing into this defense. I mean, we could have kept Queen. He'd have been on his fifth-year option. It wouldn't have been too much, but we decided to keep Owe. Know what, Yolanda? Know what? Please tell me know what. I don't know. Shout out to my man, Brandon Buck. How about them Cardinals first in the NFC West? That is very surprising, Brandon. Very surprising with the 49ers in that division. But we've all said all along, or some of us have said all along, that once the 49ers lose one of the super friends, once Brock Purdy doesn't have a full complement of all of these all-pro players, he's basically average. And the 49ers are struggling right now. So shout out to the Cardinals. Shout out to y'all for not trading us Marvin Harrison Jr. All right, Bateman, Duvernay, and Wallace wide receiver room that year was a disaster, and DeMarcus Robinson ended up being the leading receiver. Facts. But the problem for me was they told us just let them do their thing. Why can't we do that with Bo Braid, Sanusi Kane? Why can't we do that with Nate Wiggins? Why can't we do that with all of these younger guys? Where's Adisa Isaac? Where's he at to come in and help this pass rush? Like, this is the reason that we drafted those players to come in and be cheap options while these bigger contracts take up a bigger portion of the salary cap. But of course, I'm not going to say it, but some people can't draft well, and we have to go out and get replacements. Now we have to go out and get replacements for the replacements. How does that work? But we're not here to hop on that. We're here to talk about, all the good feelings and stuff. We beat the Broncos down. And this is something that we expected. But we do have a big test come Thursday. This, for me, this was a throwaway game. I figured we were going to beat them. Rookie quarterback John Harbaugh has a great record versus rookie quarterbacks. But I just wanted to come out of this game healthy. I wanted the offense to be cohesive and look like they could regain their form, and they did this. I want to go to Cincinnati and beat them dudes down. Joe Burrow had 5 touchdowns today. He had 5 touchdowns versus us the last time that we played, and we do not seem to be playing any better as a defense. And we cannot afford to lose to them because the Pittsburgh Steelers with Russell Wilson, I ain't gonna lie, they're hitting their stride. They are the leaders right now in the AFC North. So I just need us to step it up defensively because, listen, last half of this ain't gonna be good. And there's a point in the season, if I remember correctly, that the Ravens have like 3 games in 10 days. 3 games in 10 days. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't know how the schedule makers did it, but apparently they've done this to a lot of teams, and we need every win that we can get. Jesus. What would give you the inclination that Tez Walker is talented? What gave you the inclination of that? If Tez Walker was talented, in my personal opinion, Tez Walker would be ahead of Tylan Wallace. If Tez Walker was that talented, we wouldn't have traded for Deontay Johnson. If Tez Walker was that talented, he wouldn't be inactive for games, nor would he just primarily play on special teams. I know a lot of people have a lot of hopes and a lot of wishes for Tez Walker to come and be that guy to take the top off the defense, but apparently he can't play. He can't play because I don't remember one snap of him being on offense. Now, he may have had one, but I don't see him getting it. And yes, we're getting Buda Baker. Brandon, deal with it. Your team, first place right now, won't be in first place at the end of the season. What's up, Flagship Fantasy? It says, well, the Browns were able to stall our offense. I would argue that the Chiefs have a better defense. I can see your point for God, but we need a rusher to get after Mahomes and Allen. Listen, the Kansas City Chiefs have the number 2 defense in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. They were the number 2 defense last year. We do need guys that can get after Patrick Mahomes, but the one thing that we've had and the issue that we've had in the playoffs over the last 6 seasons is scoring points in the playoffs. We've already tried shutting down Mahomes, shutting down Burrow, shutting down Josh Allen. We've shut them down and just have not been able to score enough points to advance in the playoffs. So this year, for me personally, I think we need to now invest in offense so now we can outscore those teams. Kansas City Chiefs are struggling. I don't know how much better they're going to be with DeAndre Hopkins, and if Hollywood Brown comes back during the postseason, don't know if we'll be able to stop them. But I guarantee you this, if we can outscore them, we can beat them because scoring has been our Achilles heel at playoff time. Oh, that's right. 107 people in the chat. I'm surprised it's 10:30 at night. Y'all should be in bed getting ready for work. But I do appreciate everybody dropping by and hanging out with me. We've been in here for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Listen, nobody has mentioned that. I tried to get around it. I didn't want to besmirch that man's name. I wanted to leave it as it is. But yes, our $70 million safety got beat by a quarterback. And that is very telling. And the crazy part is, like on the first play of the game, he had a tackle for a loss. So I figured that Marcus Williams was going to have a very good game. I figured he was going to shake off whatever issues he had prior to today. But then it reared its ugly head. And this is not a very talented offensive team for him to be doing that. Pump the brakes on who? On what? Chin Woo. What's up, Chin Woo? You off the O&O Express? You finally with us? Are you finally with us? Are you finally a believer? When I say stuff, I don't just say it because it's like I don't dislike that player. I don't dislike anybody on my team. I want everybody on the Baltimore Ravens to excel and thrive and help us win a championship. But if I see certain things, because I've been watching football for about, I'm going to say 4 decades, it's certain things that I see. And I could just see that Ojabo and Owe just were not it. Could they be great players in another situation on another team? Yeah, they could. But as of right now with the Baltimore Ravens, they ain't it. What's up, Antonio? Lamar calls up a lot of offensive deficiencies. Yes, they do. And that's what I think that a lot of people don't really realize, because they'll sit there and be like, listen, be happy. The offense scored blase amount of points. They look really good out there. It's because of Lamar. It's because of Derrick Henry. I don't want to take anything away from Derrick Henry and his MVP type season that he's having right now. But Lamar is the straw that stirs the drink. I don't know how many times I can say that. Yes, Derrick Henry's out here killing folks. But what do you think teams are thinking when you see Lamar pull that ball back and fake it to Henry and they don't know which one to go after? Now Henry's running wide open, or he's one-on-one with a guy. Like they help each other out. But Lamar, for the most part, is covering a lot of things up. And with his passing this year, this is what's making the Baltimore Ravens even more dangerous than they have at any other time in Lamar Jackson's career, even 2019 during his MVP season. Oh, you talking about Xavier Legette? Yeah. Tyrann Mathieu would be an extreme upgrade over Marcus Williams at this point. Anybody would be an extreme upgrade. I mean, come on now. Anybody would be. But we don't want to keep throwing good money after bad. That is my whole point about constantly re-upping on defense. Shout out. It says, why does it seem that the defensive players don't like Zach, or they don't speak glowingly about Zach like they did with Mike McDonald last year? Because they're losing. Because they are the Achilles heel of this team. And me as a player, if I'm a football player and I'm a former All-Pro, I've been doing my thing for 5 to 7 years in this league, and now I'm looking like straight garbage. I'm not going to blame myself, especially when I had an outstanding year the year prior. I'm going to blame the man that's in charge now, and I'm going to make everything about him and make it his fault. But it's not Zach Orr's fault. It's John Harbaugh's fault for thinking that you could just bring a rookie defensive coordinator in here that has never called any plays and think that he's going to come in and replicate exactly what Mike McDonald did. That's crazy. Even if he did have all of the pieces that Mike McDonald had, he lost a lot of key assistant defensive coaches, and he is just not able to overcompensate for that because he's never been a defensive coordinator on any level, high school, college. He's not done it. This is his first time, and he's getting on the job training. So to me, they're tired of being the bane of the Baltimore Ravens' existence, because every time you turn on the TV, every time you look at an article, every time you go online, all you see is the Ravens don't have a championship type defense. And this may be the one thing preventing them from getting to the Super Bowl. Me as a defender, that's not something that I'm trying to hear. I'm not trying to hear that I'm the one stopping my team from actually winning the Super Bowl. So those might be some of the contentious nature that the players have with Zach, or they could just be upset with themselves and they don't know how to channel it. EDC's got this thing with safeties. I don't know why, but he whiffs huge on them. Why don't we just draft that position and use free agent money to get edge and guards and so on? Because EDC can't draft edge and EDC can't draft guards. And if you haven't noticed, he's not done a good job of drafting O-linemen at all. This is why we constantly go out and get free agents to kind of fill those voids. Edges, we kind of sign free agents to make trades to fill those voids. He can't do it. Who in their right mind thought, I'm going to trade Orlando Brown Jr. and a high second round pick to go draft Odafe Owe, a guy that had 0 sacks in his last season of college? And I'm not saying that your last season of college is going to kind of emanate the production that you have had throughout your college career, but it's pretty telling. It's pretty telling to me that you went through a full college season and you didn't sack the quarterback one time, but I'm going to expect you to come into the NFL where guys are bigger, stronger, faster, and up your game. Like, I don't know why he thought that was going to happen. And then he doubled down and said, you know what? Oh, it works so well. I'm going to go get Odessa Isaac. And look where we're at right now. Yeah, Sanusi got some playing time. I think they're trying to slowly integrate him into this starting defense. I don't think that they want to just throw him out there and just throw him into the fire and be like, all right, hold your own. So they're slowly bringing him along. The same way I think that they're doing with Nate Wiggins. They're slowly trying to bring him along because next season, Brandon Stevens is gone. I thought personally Brandon Stevens was going to leave because he was going to price himself out of Baltimore. But his play as of late, now it's no. Why would we re-sign him? He is not playing well at all. What's going on, Michael? He says, I wonder what Williams was thinking when that quarterback ran past. He was thinking, oh, I'm going to be in the newspaper again. They going to get me one more again. God damn it. That's what he was thinking. Black Ice, what's going on? He said, be nice. We have Yolanda in the chat. Or playing well below expected. Listen, well below is an understatement. And I'm not going to be nice because all I heard from Yolanda last season was, just give it one more week. Give it one more week. So I ask you, Yolanda, how many more weeks do we have to go through this same thing? The trade deadline is Tuesday. So the Ravens are going to make a move. They need to make a move to get somebody in here that's going to play and make a difference. This is the year. Last season, I thought it was the year. I'm not going to hold you. I thought last season was going to be the year when the Kansas City Chiefs were looking vulnerable. The Ravens were going to go out and win a Super Bowl. But with Lamar coming back, even better, even more dynamic, even more focused, this is the year that we need to put all the pieces together. I don't care what they have to do. And a lot of people are going to say, listen, I don't want to be like the Los Angeles Rams and go all in and mortgage the future, and then we're going to suck or whatever. I don't care, because here's the thing. The difference between the Baltimore Ravens and the difference between the Los Angeles Rams is the Los Angeles Rams do not have Lamar Jackson. That is the key difference. When Lamar Jackson is your quarterback, you have a much higher percentage and a much higher chance of winning. So we can mortgage it all. And if we build around Lamar, that's all we really need, because he is a franchise quarterback. He may possibly be the best quarterback in the league right now. And I'm just waiting for one of them Buffalo fans to come around. I know they're not, because, they talking about Lamar and what he did today, and their MVP chance have kind of quieted down. So I'm waiting for them to come around and say how their quarterback is so much better. Nah, my quarterback's leading the league in yardage. My quarterback is second in touchdown passes by 1 behind Baker Mayfield. What? What's going on, fat boy? We should have hired someone with experience. And this goes back to the nepotism and the delusionalness of John Harbaugh. I understand you want to hire in-house. I understand You want to build your legacy and get your coaching tree up and spread it out there so they can talk about you like they talk about Andy Reid. But we're trying to win a Super Bowl. This is not the year for experimentation. This is not the year where we go and try things. We need to get people in here that's going to do the job that we need them to do so we can go out and win the Super Bowl. You come out and say you know Lamar Jackson is going to be the best quarterback ever, and you want him to be the best version of himself, but yet and still you hamper and hinder him in certain ways. And a lot of people may not see it, but you're not giving him the best of what you could. And you're not giving him the best of what you can. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we have time enough to play the Zach Orr learn as you go games, but I also don't want to see anybody lose their job. But if it comes at the expense of us not winning the Super Bowl, he got to go. Like, he got to go soon, real soon. All right, we're going to take a couple more comments, and I'm going to get out of here because I did not plan on being here this long. But listen, we have 120 people still in here, 10:30 at night. I appreciate you guys. Listen, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing. If you don't like it, come back. Maybe I can convince you some other time. I don't know. I try, and I try really hard. Also, if you want to support this channel even further, you can go over to patreon.com/ROUG and sign up to become a patron of the channel. Listen, you can get into the Discord. We have a lot of fun. We talk about things. We talk about football. We talk about life. We help each other grow in any way that we can. We are building a community of people. Also, make sure you check out my Stand Store. Like, I'm trying to get into this digital product thing. So if you go to stand.store.com/AJ Lanee, LANEE, go over there and check it out. I got some things on there. I got some other things that I'm adding this week to the store. So check your boy out. You know, I'm trying to be like DoorDash. You know what I mean? I have goals and aspirations. And I do appreciate y'all though. Even if you don't have to. But I wish that you would. All right, girl. Next year, we need to draft first-round O-lineman. I hope we get the guy from Arizona. That would be nice, but we're going to draft a cornerback. Again, I said this last season. We're going to draft another cornerback. They're looking for any excuse that they can to get defensive players, and it's not going to stop now. They're going to look at this offensive line, and EDC already said, we will be fine next season. So he's already looking at these same group of guys to come in next season and possibly be better. So his concentration is not on building an O-line. His concentration is going to be on building a better defense, especially if we end the season with the last ranked passing defense in the league. What's going on? He said Eddie Jackson got number 39 for how many interceptions and missed tackles he's going to get. I mean, listen, everybody thought that dude was going to be it, but me and the Chicago Bears knew better. No, son, not Joe Fleazy. Joe Fleazy messing up? Whatever. As long as my current quarterback, is doing what he needs to do. You know what you sound like? You sound like Nnamdi Madubuike. They're double teaming me. What am I supposed to do? You get paid to bust double teams. You train with Aaron Donald. Act like Aaron Donald and do your job. I hear you on EDC when it comes to drafting certain positions, but he is above average. It's one of the hardest parts of the job. As you look around at other gyms, how many can you say are better? 4 maybe? I probably can say more than that. But for me, it's not the misses, because every GM is going to miss. You're not going to have a GM that's going to go out there and dominate the draft every year. For me, it is the number of misses. For me, it is the problem being that he feels like he needs to draft each and every pick that he has. He has had by far the most draft picks of any GM since he became the GM in 2019. If you're going to continuously miss, if I'm a general manager and I keep missing on draft picks, guess what? I'm going to start to package some of these draft picks to get players that are proven and players that I know can play. So it's not about him missing. It's about the number of misses and him continuing to do it. It's about him coming up in press conferences and saying, yeah, I'm not really good at drafting this position. Then why do you continue to do it? You come out and tell me that you're not good at something, but you continue to do it. You continue to swing and miss, and I'm supposed to applaud you for the attempts? I can't do it. I can't do it. Why do we pay 92 so much money? Because he had a career year in a contract season. He had a career in a contract season. That's pretty much it. And they felt like if he did it one time, he can do it again. And for the most part, a lot of players don't do it. When a lot of players know I can make some money, they go all out. And sometimes, and I'm not saying that this is Matabike, you get complacent. I got $100 million. I don't have to train as hard. I don't have to go as hard as I used to because I'm secure. If I get hurt, I have a bunch of money still coming to me. And I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but the Ravens just felt obligated that they needed to pay him this money because of the 13 sacks, because of all the pressures. He was the leader of that defensive line. But right now, he's just not living up to that contract. So I don't know. And Yolanda, I told you about storytelling on Sundays. I told you about that. Don't do that. 100%. 100%. Whoa, what's up, Brandon? How you been? What's going on? Oh, yes. They do. Yeah, they do. Lamar has 2 interceptions that have bounced off the hands of his receivers. So without those, he doesn't have any picks. And Raven, see, you funny, dude. Like, bro, you real funny. I can't wait for your next video, your next live stream. I want to hear you say that with a straight face, that Hobbs is a top 5 coach. But you're right. You know what? I take that back. John Harbaugh is a top 5 coach in the AFC North. 100%. In the AFC North, he's top 5 of the 4 teams. We need to trade for we need more than that. Like, we need more than just one player. One player is not fixing this defense, y'all. Like, we can get a cornerback. That's going to help some. We can get an edge rusher. That's going to help some. But we need a combination of a bunch of things. And it's the scheme. The scheme needs to change. Somebody needs to step in outside of Dean Pease, who, by the way, is 100 years old. Like, we need somebody young. We need a young, fresh defensive mind to come in and help him. Give him some guidance. Let him know something. I'm just saying. Harbaugh is good enough. He's good enough in a regular season. Postseason, whole nother matter. But I do want to give Harbaugh kudos for that challenge today. We haven't had any mishaps with John Harbaugh and the challenge flag, but today he did it right. We were on a stream saying, listen, they need to challenge that one because I don't think that's the first down. And he did it, didn't lose a timeout. Good for him. And Orr is trash. I mean, I can't name it. First of all, if you don't know, I'm an old man. My memory, it comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. I don't know. Okay, let's try from just off memory. Brett Veach, Kansas City. Les Snead, Los Angeles. My man in Philadelphia, his name escapes me. Who else is put together? Jim in Buffalo. I can't remember his name. Jim in Buffalo. It's 4 right there. And there are some others, but that's 4 right there. 49ers. John Lynch, 5. Tampa, 6. Cesario, 7. Okay, we can take Buffalo off. That's still 6. We can take off Buffalo. Oh, Detroit, 7. 7 right there. So we take Buffalo off. We still got 7. Oh, Green Bay, 8. But listen, once again, it's not about the fact that he has misses. It's about him feeling the need to have 11 draft picks and drafting 11 players. We can't fit all 11 players on our squad. There are not 11 spots on this team for rookies to come in and have an impact. So for the love of God, I don't understand, for me, why you need to draft each and every one each and every year. I thought that earlier in the offseason. Brandon Staley is an outstanding defensive coordinator. He's a horrible head coach, but an outstanding. Talking about Ryan Poles. The Bears are still having the same issues that they had with Justin Fields. Yes, they got Keenan Allen. They drafted Roman Doomsday. They went and got the running back. I can picture his face. I can't remember his name. They went out and got who else did they get? Keenan Allen, Roma Doomsday, the running back. They drafted Caleb Williams. I mean, they got some people. They went and traded for the defensive guy from Washington. But that's my man, Howie Roseman. Thank you, Antonio. Howie Roseman. But he did, bro. He got the offensive and defensive player of the year. Swift, that's his name. Swift. And he got DJ Moore. Yeah, but they still. I mean, it's okay. If we put in the Bears, that's 9. You said 4, we just gave you 9. But once again, it's not about the misses. It's about feeling like you need all of these draft picks. You could have traded up in the first round in a lot of drafts and gotten different players, gotten impact players, but you want to sit around and wait for certain projects to come in and they end up failing. Like, I understand on any other team, this may be acceptable. But when you have Lamar Jackson in the prime of his career, well, not even hitting the prime of his career, and he's still outstandingly good, you should build around him instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to take a swing at this guy, and with his measurables, I hope that he works out. And this is not all an EDC type thing, because a lot of this started with Ozzie Newsome. So it's not just EDC. A lot of it started with Ozzie Newsome. The Baltimore Ravens as an organization, when they draft height, weight, and speed. These are the 3 things that they first look for when they look for players. Then they look for good characters. I never hear them say, hey, can this guy play? Does he love football? Like, does he eat, sleep, and shit football? I don't ever hear them guys say that. But they'll talk about the character of a guy, and this is some of the things that we're missing. So I'm not saying that he's bad at his job, but he's lacking in certain areas. And he said he was lacking. Like, if I say I'm lacking in something, I'm not going to continue to do it. I'm going to bring in some help. Kind of like a defensive coordinator needs to say, I need help me. Kevin Hart, help me. That's all I'm saying. What's going on, Chad? He says, I'm discovering you tonight, but I'm a fan of the content. Refreshing to listen to someone know ball. Flock looked good today, but still have to fix that D. Bo Nix, Moss, man. Appreciate you. Listen, my thing is this. All I can do and all I ever do is give my opinion. Like, I never say what I say is fact. I never say what I say is right. It's just my opinion, how I process information, and how I see things. You may see things totally different, and I'm not saying that you're wrong about it. I'm just saying, look, this is how I digest football, and now I'm verbalizing it to you. So that's all what it is. How did y'all keep me here 15 extra minutes? It's 10:45. There's still 95 people in here. God, I appreciate y'all. I really do appreciate y'all. What's going on, Deshaun? It says, do not give up no second round pick because this receiver might fall in the second round, but they are predicting him in the third round, and that is Jalen Royals. But this is my issue with the Ravens. The Ravens feel sometimes that players are going to fall to them. We've had this happen so many times where they figured nobody's looking at this guy. He's going to fall to us at this spot. And what happens 2 or 3 picks right before we pick? Somebody snags him up. Now we have to go in a whole nother direction. So they need to stop. You have 11 draft picks. 11. You can't package 1, 2 picks, move up some spots, and get the guy that you actually want. Get the guy that you believe is going to make an impact, and not somebody that you think might be good one day. We don't have time to wait for somebody to develop for 2 to 3 years. We didn't have time to wait for Ojabo to get healthy and finally round into the player that we thought that he was going to be. We needed somebody that year, and it came and bit us in the butt during the playoffs. I don't mind it. Let's not say love it. I don't mind it. I love the interaction. I think it's better than making videos because you get interaction with people and you're just not sitting there recording something and editing all day. I don't mind it. I'm not going to say that I love it, but I do it. Can I say that? I mean, we could have drafted so many people. So many people. And yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. All right, listen, 55 minutes. We've been in here. I do appreciate everybody. Make sure before you leave, you hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. I'm manifesting it. I'm putting it in the air. whatever you need to do. I'm about to burn some sage, about to get the thing done. I do appreciate you guys. Make sure tomorrow night on Sip to Tally, you come join the Ravens Roundtable with myself, Coach Evans, Jose and Brodney from Lunch Break Hot Take, and Chris Just Joking from the Deep Cover Podcast as we go over today's game and we talk a bunch of other things. Make sure, I trade for Dexter Lawrence. I'll take that one. Make sure you come check us out tomorrow night. Then on Tuesday night at 9 p.m., go over to Shook Knight 323's channel with myself and Brodney as we talk on the Steel Conspiracy, where we talk Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers football. Suge is a very funny guy. He's a closet Ravens fan that masquerades as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but that man defends Lamar Jackson like no one I have ever seen in my life. He finds Steelers spaces to go into to argue about how good Lamar Jackson is, but claims to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I don't know how he does it. He lies to himself, but he can't lie to me. So once again, he's coaching right now. He's coaching high school basketball. So he's a little busy. He's not able to actually go and hang with us no more. I know it's been a while. It's been like a year. It's been a minute. But I guarantee you OTL Mike will be back. And Suge loves the Ravens. And listen, Open Mic with OTL Mike, guarantee you is coming back. All the content that you love, seeing your favorite creators outside of the realm of sports, seeing how we are just in day-to-day life. I guarantee you all this stuff is coming back. But make sure you guys check us out. I will be coming out with a video tomorrow or Tuesday. So make sure you check it out. Go to the channel. Listen, I put out a video. I thought it was a decent video. Like, I thought it was okay. And I wanted to know who guys thought who was the greatest Baltimore Raven of all time. I thought the video was going to pop, but it didn't pop. It's okay. It's all right. But I will see you guys next time. Appreciate you for everything that you have done for me. One love, and I will see you next time.